All right, we here, people. We here. We are here. What's popping? What's popping? Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the building. What's good? What's good? So we got my dude, YND, Young and Disciplined, in the building. What's going on, man? What's popping with you, man?
What up? What up? Not much, man. Just chilling.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. I'm glad you came through. You know what I mean? So for those who don't know who you are, we just gonna jump right into this, man. We're gonna jump right into this. So tell everybody who you are, what you do, you know what I'm saying, and what's going on with you.
All right. So my name, Young and Disciplined. I go by YND for short, 3-letter acronym right there.
All
I'm
right.
a dating coach for men, for young men particularly. That's really like my main focus. So just trying to teach guys, self-improvement on that one side, but also just teaching them the game when it comes to dating, especially right now, because I'm a young dude. I'm out here dating right now. So
Right.
that's what I'm trying to put them on to the game so they can be good, because everybody frustrated. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I came in.
Yeah, it's funny because I saw you. I stumbled upon your videos just randomly on YouTube. I was just scrolling through, and I was like, all right, let me see what he's talking about and everything like that. And then I saw we both did some videos about each other. And then we got on the phone. He's like, yo, let's do something together. Let's talk about this. So like,
yeah.
So like what made you, well, first of all, how old are you though? How old are you?
I'm 23, but I'll be 24 in 2 months. So I just been practicing saying that. If you watch my new videos, I'll be like, I'm 24, because I'm just trying to get used to it.
Right. Now that's what's up. It's crazy too, because I remember when I started on YouTube, I was 27. So you started even before I started. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
So dudes is really, really young out here. So what made you want to get on YouTube and start teaching these young dudes what it is? Like, what made you want to do that?
So I've been watching, well, actually, I'll say this. I've been aware of like the dating community on this side of YouTube since I was probably like 16, 17, around there when I was in high school. But I never comment, nothing like that. I just watched some different dudes learn what I needed to learn, and I was good. You see what I'm saying? So for me, I had a relationship that I was in, and things just didn't work out. I ain't got nothing bad to say about it, but things ain't work out. And I started dating again. This was just last summer. And I hadn't really been on like no dating profiles, you know what I'm saying, that heavy. I hadn't really been doing a whole lot of approaches and stuff like this, but I was hanging out with different friends and stuff like this, just going out and just using all the game and just everything I know, you know what I'm saying? And I was having a lot of success. So I started watching and I had more time on my hands since I didn't have that relationship. So I started looking at YouTube, and I seen things was a lot different than when I was kind of really watching stuff, you know what I mean? And I just didn't like the content that I was seeing, especially on like, I don't want to say no names or nothing, but just especially on like the Black manosphere side of things. I didn't like the people that I seen and what they was teaching. And I'm like, oh, hell no. Nah. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, somebody got to jump in this.
So what is some of the stuff you didn't like that you saw, that you was like, some of the ideas he was talking about?
Well, first I want to start with the good. I don't want to come across like I'm just this negative hater, right? The good things I saw was guys were still holding on to, you got to improve yourself, things like this, chasing after your passions in life or your purpose, and, trying to find yourself, you know what I mean? Which is a good thing to really know about yourself, you know what I mean? As a man, that was the good stuff. But the problem I saw was a lot of these dating coaches, they wasn't dating coaches. You know what I mean? They telling guys to everything. Every strategy was like how to make a girl do this. And then you watch the video, he'd be like, just ignore the girl. Don't give her no time. See, women, they did. And I'm like, that ignoring a girl that don't notice you anyway, don't do nothing for you, right? But they wasn't telling guys that. So that's where I was like, hold on, and that was some of my early videos that kind of got a little bit of traction. You know what I mean? It was me saying like, ignoring a girl, that ain't gonna do nothing if she don't know you exist. That's like ignoring, some fat beluga whale chick that you don't even look at, and she trying to ignore you. You like, okay, I never seen you to begin with. You know what I mean? So stuff like this, the overemphasis on money and status. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I didn't like that. It was, and I used the word overemphasis for a reason, because it's nothing wrong with, what I'm saying, getting some status and getting your money up. Those are good things to do. We all know women like resources, and those things are attractive. So I'm not trying to say that's not true, but the overemphasis was what was killing me, because a lot of dudes was on either this side of like kind of depressed because they started to realize that they felt like they was never going to get that, or the other side was they really still mad at women and they hate women really because they think it's all about that, and they feel like, well, now I got it and girls do like me, but it's really just because of the money. And they was kind of neglecting what I like to look at is like the internal value and the internal characteristics of a man. You know what I mean? Right. That's what was lacking. Everything was external, but they missing this, they missing this. You see what I'm saying? And that's actually what to me game is about really when you're dealing with a woman, is you trying to get her here. You want her following after your mind, you know what I mean? Which would mean her mind is gone off of you, basically. Right. And I thought that was missing. So that's what made me want to jump in the scene, especially as a young guy. Because at the time, and you know, I done talked to different people now, but at the time, I thought I was the only young dude coming in here, you know what I mean, that was doing it. So that was the main motivations right there.
That's what's up. So do you think, because I'm sure some dudes will watch your videos and they're gonna be like, come on, man, it's easy for you to get girls because you're not a bad looking dude. You looks maxed, and you know what I'm saying? So these chicks just want you because they think you look good. So what's your like response or thoughts to that, where guys who just think like it's only about that? You know what I mean? Because I know you see a lot of things to where you have guys that they have channels dedicated just to like looking good. And I think looking good is good. You should always, put yourself together and look good and all that other stuff. But what's your thoughts on the whole, like, looks maxing and everything got to be about looks type of thing? Like, what's your thoughts on that shit?
Well, you know what I think. I think it's bullshit. I just think, again, like you just said, looks is important. I always say looks get your foot in the door. You know what I mean? With some women that you meet, if you just stay 10 out of 10, they think you just the finest thing walking, then yeah, that could carry you. I'm not going to say far, but it can carry you to the bedroom. But what I've seen is long-term, whatsoever, whether you a guy that want to do a monogamous relationship, or even if you just want to have some chick you dealing with, you know what I mean, just for 6 months, you know what I mean, or a year, or however long, anytime, once you get past that the sex and stuff like this, and the notoriety of your looks kind of wear off and she get used to you, I found that looks ain't gonna carry you no more, because the human brain is just meant to adapt. You know what I mean? Like whatever celebrity we think is the baddest chick walking, at first we might even be like, dang, I got her. And all of a sudden, you might not even be getting it up that much for her no more, and you looking at some other girl. You know what I mean? That's just how it works. What's there internally, you know what I mean, for you to be like, okay, I like her. It's the same thing on the other end. It's like, what's there when it comes to how you talk to her, how you carry yourself, how you move, what you think about, what you about, what direction you going in your life. Women want leaders. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, if you ain't got that stuff in place, then the looks, you might smash a lot. And that's why I think a lot of guys like me too, because a lot of dudes was coming to me, they saying, because I made a video about the looks maxing and the black pill, and a couple of dating coaches that was talking about it, and dudes that agree with me, they was like, man, you make a good point. I sleep with girls because I'm attractive, but afterwards, that's the part where I mess up. You know what I mean? How do I keep them there? Right. And so that's why I don't think looks is the end all be all whatsoever.
That's some real shit. And what's interesting is that, like, what you said was, you're gonna adapt. So it's like, no matter, because they have this saying where they said, show me a hot chick, I'll show you the guy that's tired of fucking her. So basically meaning like, he's used to the fact that she looked good already, and vice versa. So even if you look good to a woman, that's not going to carry you all the way out. You know what I mean? And sometimes a woman could be sexually attracted to you because she like your looks, and that could get you some hookups here and there from chicks that just think you look good and all that other stuff. But I think when it comes to guys understanding the game, it's a lot of shit that a lot of guys don't really understand, because they're not actually out there. And that's the thing, when I was watching your videos, I was like, okay, I could see, and this is the thing I want to tell people. When myself, and I probably, and you even too, I'm sure you even do this, where it's like, you watch other people's stuff, you could see they got game, but you ain't going to agree with everybody. You feel what I'm saying? And so, and you're not going to agree with everything everyone says. And what I thought was interesting was I saw some clips of you and my dude Taekwondo, and y'all was going back and forth. So what was that about, where you guys was on the video? Like, how did that come about, and how did that happen with you in Taekwondo? What was going on with that?
First, I like that question because to me, how it happened was real crazy to me. So at that time, I had only been on YouTube for just a few months,
Mm,
um, and I had did a agree and disagree video on Taekwondo. So remember earlier when I had said I thought I was the only young nigga that was coming on here doing this. I didn't know who he was. Like I said, I wasn't active in this community. I haven't really watched dating content and none of this stuff for years. You see what I'm
mm,
saying? So I was just getting back looking at what was going on. So I didn't know who he was.
mm.
And I, you can check the analytics tab that tell you who your subscribers watch and
Right.
stuff like this. And I kept saying Taekwondo. I'm like, and when I first glanced at it, I'm like, okay, I guess niggas trying to learn how to fight, martial artists or something. That's what I'm thinking.
Shout
And
out to
then one of
look.
yeah, shout out to him. But one of my friends, he told me like, yeah, man, it's this other dude, Taekwondo. He kind of doing the same stuff you doing. I'm like, damn, I'm not the only one. And I'm like, who's this? And I'm like, okay, let me check him out. Cause now I'm seeing he popping up on the analytics that my viewers watching him. And then I'm seeing like one of my friends telling me, and then my cousin told me about him. So I'm like, okay, let me check him out. So I started watching his stuff. I'm like, damn, I agree with a lot of stuff he was saying. Like, it was one of them things like, he do a lot of reactions. So he would be reacting to something that a dude like between watching the interaction between a man and a woman, like on a date or something like this. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, oh yeah, that dude fucked up because of XYZ reason. And then he would pause it and say exactly what I was thinking in my head. I was like, okay, yeah, I like him. Like we on the same, type page. So what happened with that debate was I had made a disagree and agree video on him. And somehow he seen it and he commented and was like, he fucked with the video. He said he watched the whole thing. He told me to stand on my points, even the stuff I disagree with him on, whatever the case, right? And then after that, it kind of like, I don't know if it was because he engaged with me or what, it boosts me in the algorithm. So I gained like 1,000 subscribers in like 2 weeks or something, right? And then since I had people that came from over there that was watching me, they would tell me like, man, he go on stream. You should join tonight. You should join. So I get in there. And when I join the room, it's so many people. I'm like, oh, I ain't never going to get up here with them. And they all recognize me. It was like 5, 6 of them. That's like, hey, that's Y&D. So I was like, damn, they recognize. I didn't even know they was going to know who I was. So they came up with a plan to be like, all right, the next person that get brought up there to talk with him at the end of it, tell him to bring in Y&D. And that's how it happened. And that's what he did.
That's what's up. I fucks with that. Shout out to Taekwondo because Taekwondo be going in. You feel what I'm saying? Taekwondo be definitely going in and shit. And I think I'm not sure if this is were y'all talking about a little bit of like the topic of lying to chicks? Was that one? That's the topic that me and you definitely disagreed on because he was like, "Fuck it, I'm lying to these bitches." But I'm like, nah, don't tell these the truth. So what's your philosophy on that? You know what I'm saying? As far as like just lying to a chick or like you don't give a shit or whatever.
Yeah, so we having a real talk right now, right? But in my videos and stuff, everybody got their little persona, little entertaining side. So sometimes I'm a bit facetious. I joke about things that might be kind of serious, and I don't break character neither. Y'all, whoever watching this, really lucky because you'll go back to my videos and swear that I'm just a demon. You know what I mean, in human form.
Right.
But that said, my true philosophy on it is this. I was telling guys to lie when it comes to things that can increase their value in the women's eyes, particularly with guys that's more like incels and they struggle with women. Or sometimes I get guys that they live in cities where it's more like a rural area or they just ain't around too many women and they just feel like they don't have enough. They don't have no leeway for mistakes. You see what I'm saying? Like they got 2 girls. They want this to work. And they was coming to me saying, they would go through the interactions with me. They would tell me what was happening. And I would point out like, oh no, a girl asking you what you doing this weekend. You don't tell her nothing. What, you want to hang out? Like, don't do that. I was telling them just say you got something going on. They like, oh, what if I ain't got nothing going on? I lie. So what? Say you got something going on. It'll make you look like you doing something, just stuff like this, right? That's like a social proof type of thing. Or so it don't make you look lame. Or I told guys to even lie about, don't say you've been in no 2-year relationship, but if a girl asked you about that, because those are natural things that come up when you're dealing with new girls, right? She want to know your last boy. I mean, not your last boy. You might ask her that, but your last girlfriend, your last, what I mean? They just be talking, asking stuff. And I was telling guys, yeah, you can be mysterious. There are ways to get around those things and control the conversation. But I'm like, at some point, you got a girl at your crib and y'all just hanging out talking, and she bring that up or whatever. I personally don't like to always be like overly mysterious and not answer nothing to where I look unnatural. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm like, give her an answer. Tell her you had some girl you was talking to, kicking it with, even if you didn't, just so you don't look like a 25-year-old virgin or 30-year-old virgin. You see what I'm saying? So it's like stuff like this that I was telling her. It's not like I gotta lie about that because I ain't no virgin. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But guys kind of took it and was like, oh, this nigga, he the demon. So I roll with it like shit, slimy, grimy land nigga, fuck them. That's how I start talking. Like,
you know what's funny about that too, because like, so, and I think also this might also be like an age difference too, and like a experience difference through age, because like when I was younger, when I was your age, nigga, I was lying all the time, which is why I tell dudes not to lie. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been through that shit when I was younger, and it was funny. There was a saying, I forgot who said it. It was one of these dudes from the last century. He had a saying. He said everything you say should be true, but not everything that is true should be said. So a lot of times, what a lot of guys do is they talk about too much shit that they don't need to say to, and then that within itself, right, fucks up a lot of shit. So like if a dude don't have no experience with women, right, he don't need to tell a girl he ain't got no experience with women. He just could shut the fuck up and not say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's exactly what I was telling dudes, especially and this ain't no diss at Taekwondo, but I know he big on like the mouthpiece, right? So I'll be having guys coming from over there and they're like, man, what do I say when they say this? And I'm like, man, y'all so worried about riz and mouthpiece and lines to say. I'm like, man, shut the fuck up. How about that? You know what I'm saying? So I feel you on that, because dude, they talk too much sometimes, right? They start. And it's because a lot of them lonely, or, you know, this COVID, you know, stuff that happened with quarantine. A lot of them don't socialize a lot. So when they get on these dates or they get around girls that they think like them or do like them, they just want to blab, blab, blab. So I could see that. But what I'll say too on the lying thing is, and I said this to Ty in our debate, I don't think men should lie about serious things, for one. Like if you're gonna lie at the end of the day, think about the consequences of it. Have the intelligence to be able to foresee what can happen if you got caught, and just count up the cost on how much you give a fuck. Like I told Ty, sometimes, man, I get with girls and I would hook up with girls and I would say what was necessary because I knew it was going to give me the ass, and it did. And I didn't care if I got caught because I just wanted it for that night. Some may say that's childish. Some may say whatever. I say I do what the fuck I want to do, and I don't care what nobody say. You see what I'm saying? So I tell guys to make their own choice. And at the end of the day, it's like, just think about the consequences. If you want this to be long term and you lying about some serious shit and you know she gonna catch you, or she could, and you don't like, you know, what you see as the potential of her leaving, then why would you lie? You see what I mean? It's really up to the individual. That's what I say. But overall, when it comes to lying about serious stuff, especially like, oh, you know, you my girlfriend and she not, telling her that she the only one and she not, nah, I don't do that. That's how you get caught up, or if you don't get caught, you looking over your shoulder every 2 seconds, and you know, ain't nobody got time for that. So I would definitely agree not to do that. Right.
So now in your opinion, since you've been, you know, on YouTube coaching, talking to a lot of dudes, and I know a lot of young cats be coming at you, because I've seen some of your live streams and everything, and dudes be asking questions. What do you think is like some of the biggest, like, you know, hurdles or mistakes, or like shit that a lot of these guys come to you and say like, man, I'm having trouble with this or this or that? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, a lot of guys, they got trouble with a lot of the beginning stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I find guys, I rarely get questions about maintaining a girl and stuff like this, because a lot of guys that like this type of content is really struggling with like the beginning and initial stages when they just first meet a woman. So they asking me how to approach, what to say. They want to send text messages on like how to set up the date or how to call her. And what do I say when I'm on the phone? What do I say? Everything's like, what do I say? What do I do at these early type of stages? Also too, I find guys, they really got that tunnel vision. You know what I mean? Where they meet one girl, they already done projected the picket fence and the family onto her, and they trying to force. Right. Exactly. And they already trying to make her the one, you know. And what I do, instead of just coming at their neck being like, why are you doing that? Because that's where I want to get to. But what I start doing is just asking them questions like, Well, do you know this about her? Do you know that about her? Why do you want this to be that? And a lot of times they really don't know. It just come down to, well, she seemed like she's showing me some interest. You know
Right.
what I mean? And that's the epitome of that, you know, what we'll call a beta male type of mindset. You know what I mean? A lot of guys, they ain't really built themselves up to get the confidence to feel like they're the catch and they're picky on who they want to deal with or be with, or you see what I'm saying? Like they meet a girl and it's like they ready to drop everything for her. And those is usually where I think all the issues stem from, of asking, what should I say? What do I do? Like, I don't have to ask nobody, what do? I do what the hell I want. And whatever happens, it's like, so what? You just talk to another girl, or you already got other girls. You know what I mean? So that's like the main issue I think I see.
Real talk. So now what are some things that you've done that you thought was like, you know, fucked up or mistaken? Like, damn, I shouldn't have did that. That was some goofy ass shit. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, I remember when I was around your age, there was a girl that I was feeling, and she was doing like a poetry slam or some shit. And then invited me to it. So then what I did was, the day before, I like went to the place to make sure I knew how to get there, so I wouldn't be late the next day. So I took out a whole day to try to find this place. And then this girl still basically played me at the end. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the time. So I basically wasted time simping, trying to, you know, make sure I got to this place on time to see this girl the next day. So what are some like things you did that was like, man, that was some whack ass shit that I did to like, you know, get with a chick or something like that?
I remember I was in college. This was my freshman year. Mm-hmm. And there was this girl on campus that I remember a lot of the dudes in our, I can't remember what we called that first period class. I can't remember, but it might have been, was it orientation or no? It wasn't orientation. It had a specific name in college. I'm kind of far removed from that now, but so this was my freshman year. There's this girl that everybody thought was like real pretty, right? And so we was all in a little group, and they like, man, y'all like everybody kind of talking about it, like, man, go say something. You ain't gonna say nothing to her, to everybody, right? And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go say something to her. So I went right up to her after the class, and we start talking, hit it off. I remember we was up in her dorm, we was making out and everything, and my cousin called me, right? Like, we about to get it on. Like, I'm about to smash this girl. The first time I'm up there, and this was the first week of college. My cousin called me. My dumb ass answers it. Okay, I don't know why I do that. In the middle, I stop. I answer the call. He talking about D, I'm outside, bro. Cause I for those that don't know, I do music and stuff like this. So me and him, we used to write together. He like, man, I'm outside. Let's get together, write this song. And she hears it and she like, oh, you know, of course how women are. She like, okay, it's okay. You go ahead, go. We got in the future. Man, the way I reacted to this was like, we walked downstairs and then she just said bye. And I stopped her and I was like, you're not gonna I was like, you ain't gonna give me no goodbye kiss. Like you a bad girlfriend. I said something like this, and that girl's face was like, girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like, girlfriend. She had this look. And then right in that moment, I just felt that the sexual tension, it just felt like it vanished. And she gave me this little thin lip, like she didn't want to do it, kiss. And I ain't hear from her for like 3 days. And I knew not to say nothing. Right? She comes back, and my beta male ass, I'm like, I'm 17 years old. The first thing I said, because I turned 18 2 weeks into college. So I was 17, and she hits me up. First thing I say is, where you been at? I should not have said that. I said, where you been at? Man, this girl put laughing faces and was like, what you talking about where I've been at? It was over. I tried to double back after that, like 2 weeks later, rekindle it. It just got worse. You know what I mean? Like,
no, it's funny though when that shit happens, because it's like, you know, when you think about it afterwards, you be like, God damn, what the fuck was I doing? And the reason why I bring this up is because, you know, when people watch people, you know, when they watch cats like us, you know what I'm saying, we coaching, we helping people out, they think we perfect. Like, we ain't never, you know what I'm saying, do no goofy shit. And the thing is that the stuff that we went through is the things that gives us the knowledge to help a lot of these guys out. You feel what I'm saying? Exactly. So, you know what I mean? So I think it's important for people to know, like, hey, you know, we went through some shit too. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. It didn't happen. Been through it all.
Oh, yeah. And if you guys have questions in the chat, you guys can put questions in the chat. We'll get to so many questions. So I want to talk about one of your videos. So I saw one of your short videos and I thought this was cool because you said it was something about, you were saying that the results, you know, of your past sort of dictates, you know, your future. So people don't realize like they fucking up now You know what I'm saying? And then that could kind of mess up shit later on down the line. So what's your thoughts on that, especially with a lot of these young dudes out here that just might be doing a bunch of bullshit? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. That's a good question because my channel name is Young and Disciplined. So a lot of times when people hear me talking about fucking hoes and stuff like this, they're like, man, that sound like it don't go together. You know what I mean? Like you young and disciplined, but you talking about that. Well, the thing is, that's a big part of my message though on my channel is about making good decisions. So I'm teaching guys game and teaching them how they can do good with women. But I am not telling guys that they gotta smash as many girls as me or you or do everything we're doing. They get to make their own choice. But I just want them to know how to do it so they can move how they want to. You see what I'm saying? So that said, I am big on really what you're doing today. Every day, man. The brain is like it's like a camera that's constantly recording everything that you're doing, right? And it wants to stay in its same patterns and habits. So if today you being lazy, it's recording you being lazy, not doing shit. And tomorrow when you wake up, it's gonna go through that file and it, you know what I'm saying, just like a camera, and it wants to pull from that same program. It wants to do that same thing over and over. And there's a scripture in the Bible too that talk about if you don't gather any wisdom in your youth, how will you get it in your old age? A lot of us, we like to think like, oh, I'll do it later. You know what I mean? Or I'll get to it later. But what we don't realize is that we really deceiving ourselves because in that moment, you're teaching yourself procrastination or you're teaching yourself to continue that bad habit. You know, it's like you're trying to eat good. You tell yourself today, you're like, oh, I'll start Monday. Now, don't do that. You start today because when Monday comes, you're going to say the same thing you just said yesterday, which was out. You see what I'm saying? And that's how people keep pushing stuff off. So I say all that to say I'm big on trying to make the right decision today and really thinking about what type of habits you want to build for yourself because that's when you're going to get the results and you'll be good at it. I mean, you'll reap the benefits of what you're doing today later. But if you don't do it today, you're not going to get there. You're just going to keep telling yourself, oh, I'll get there or I'll fix it. So part of my message too is I'm always telling guys, look, guys, do what you want to do with the game stuff I'm teaching you. You see what I'm saying? Do what you want to do with it. But the truth of the matter is this: if you don't know what you want from women, if you ain't attractive enough in whatever way, if you don't know different methods so you can meet different girls, and if you don't have that, you just gonna spend your life chasing ass. You're gonna always be trying to talk to so many girls just to get a couple. Or maybe you get good at that, but you still don't take the time to build up the internal characteristics like I was talking about earlier. And so you sleep with all these girls, but you just keep chasing ass and you lose a girl. So you like, okay, I just get another one, but you just keep going. I think the main thing that guys want to get to is you want to get girls that you want, that's listening to you, that's submissive, that's cooperative, that's fun to be around, that's good for you. But also you want to be able to keep them. Nobody wants girls like that. And you don't even know how to keep her in line because she up here walking all over you over time. You see what I'm saying? So it's stuff like this. I want guys to really build themselves up as men, know themselves, and that does come from failures and messing up, but jump in there. You know what I mean? Jump in there and put your best foot forward and don't stop trying. That's the thing too.
Yeah, and see that right there is when I know a motherfucker knows game, because just that right there, having not because real talk, because you gotta understand, especially you being a young dude. And I know what's going to happen is other younger cats is going to definitely gravitate to you. And a lot of these young dudes, bro, they don't think like that. Like they don't think about like, oh, if I do this now, this could probably fuck my shit up later. So like they'll just be irresponsible. Like, yeah, well, I was horny and I just hit it raw and I splashed all in her and now she pregnant and now they messed their whole life up at this point. You know what I'm saying? Because they wasn't thinking. So I think it's important for these dudes to really be, thinking out here. You know what I'm saying? That's real shit.
And I mean, I ain't embarrassed to say it is what it is. I done been through stuff like that. I done been through stuff like that, girl. You know what I'm saying? Sleeping with some girl and they talking about they think they late or they late and you over here. You know what I mean? And it's in those experiences, if you got some sort of intelligence and wisdom, hopefully you can learn from them. And my thing is, I've been through those things and I know some guys ain't as lucky. You know what I mean? They go through that one time and they done got. You know what I mean? So I try to tell guys these things just so it's like, yeah, you can have your fun. That's the whole thing of my channel. It's young and disciplined. It's like you have your fun, but you gotta be smart about what you're doing. And at the end of the day, you got to take accountability. You can't blame nobody. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna go to the courts when child support coming looking for you, talking about, well, I was watching this dude on YouTube named YND. I was watching Mr. Lucario. They ain't gonna care about that.
Right.
So I'm like, guys, you gotta make sure, yeah, you hear the game, you're getting good at it, you sleeping with all these, that's great. But why are you doing that? Do you know why you're doing it? You know what I mean? Now, if you know why you're doing it and you think it's cool for you and you can get away with it and you're gonna walk out, that's between you and God and your mind and your life. You know what I mean? But a lot of dudes, they don't even think that far to know why they be doing stuff. They just want to move because some dude on YouTube said it or their friends said it. So I really want guys to just think about what they want, think about the future of their life, and just stand on whatever the consequences are. You know what I mean?
Real shit. So you got a question. He says, so you're in discipline. If you had a number, how many girls do you talk to on the regular?
How you think I should take this question, Mr. Lucar? Did he mean like approaching, or he mean like just?
I think probably the girls that's on your roster, maybe. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like the girls that you be hooked up with, messing with. I think that's what he talking about.
Well, when you found me and you reacted to my mistake video, that's when I was on the street because I was actively dating then. Because my thing about being a dating coach, especially as a young dude, is like I want to be out here seeing what's going on. You know what I mean? So at that time, I was dating. I was dating a fuck ton. I probably this is gonna sound real dirty. It was like 20-some girls, man, just a couple months, few months. But now I'm down to just one. I got rid of some girl like 2 weeks ago because I ain't like how she was acting. And I just feel like I ain't got time for it. I got one girl. She listened. She cooperated. She doing her thing. And I'm really focused on just my grind, my purpose, and trying to build up this YouTube stuff. You know what I mean? And really putting my all into this. So right now, that said, I just went out with my cousin over the weekend and we was talking to girls, just socializing. I got like 3-4 numbers just approaching. I ain't even gonna text them hoes. I just do it for fun. It's like when you get around girls and you know how to talk and you know what I mean? It just be hard not to. It's just fun to be around feminine energy. You talking to them and you say something and you could tell they feeling you. So yeah, I get their numbers, but I ain't even gonna talk to them. So it's just one girl right now consistently.
So Dawson in the chat said, did COVID have an effect on your dating life and social skills?
Oh, that's a good question. No, it didn't have it. It had an effect on my dating life, but not in a negative aspect. You know what I mean? For me, it really, at that time, I was really tapped in with my singing, my songwriting, and I was doing a lot of different stuff with songwriters and Zoom sessions online because at the time nobody could link up. So I was writing with a lot of people and different stuff at that time. So that was good for me because I was really just focused on myself. It didn't affect my social skills really at all because I was still, so during that time, everybody was at home, and this is where I probably have an advantage over guys, especially in our demographic dealing with Black women or women, urban women that like Black men. It's just, just my phenotype, how I look, my features and stuff like this. When I got on them dating apps just for fun. Man, that shit was crazy. That was probably like the time of my life for matches. I mean, I got on there. It was like 100+ likes and all of this shit. It was 24 hours. So I probably do have a cheat code on that end. But like we was talking about earlier, I always tell guys, I always done look like this. You know what I mean? So there was a time where I used to get girls and they would think I was cute, but I would always fumble because of how I acted. So that's why I don't listen to that excuse about, oh, it's just how you look. Cause I'm like, nah, man. Like I done got girls that they was so gone off of me, like, damn, he fine. And they telling me this. And I'm just such a, I'm just a lame and how I'm dealing with them. And they lost interest. So I know that's not the case. But now during COVID, I would talk to girls on the phone because I couldn't see them. Sometimes I remember I had girls, my mom, just so y'all know, my mom watches my YouTube channel. She watches my YouTube. I know she watching this right now. Sometimes mom,
Does she be like, yo, what are you saying on there? What the hell? What's going on?
Yeah, she be saying I'm crazy, but she think it's funny. Sometimes mom, I'm tell you the truth. When I told you some of my homies was coming to get me, sometimes it would be girls that was coming to pick me up because I would have girls come pick me up sometimes during COVID, and we would go to this we'd go to this spot that wasn't that far from where I lived. It was behind the church.
Mm.
and we would do some things back there in the name of the Lord. You know, I repent, Father. But you know, that's the real. So nah, COVID didn't affect me, not that much.
That
It
shit
didn't really
funny.
hurt me.
So you say you do music and stuff, right? How long you been doing music? Like what type of music you do?
I do like R&B
Oh,
stuff like that. That's my own personal music. As far as songwriting, I can do anything. I don't wrote with rappers from the lyrical dudes to the turn up, you know what I'm saying? Get hype club music. I don't work with pop artists. I don't wrote some country songs for some different people. Like I when it comes to songwriting, my brain is I'm like a chameleon. I could shapeshift and do whatever. But as far as my own personal, you know, I like to do R&B. She
that's
said, "Do things."
that's my girl April. She laughing. She's like, let me see what other questions we got here. So they said, do you care about body count?
With I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I'm saying that not for guys, but I'm saying like I hope he ain't asking me if I care if it's bad if I had a high body count or something. But do I care about body count? Not in the way that I would ask a girl what her body count is. You know what I'm saying? Like I would never ask that. What I'm looking out for is first, primarily with any woman, is just do I like you? You know what I mean? Do I like being around you? Compatibility, personality stuff. And then also too, what's a priority for me is just cooperation. You know, you could say whatever, but are you listening, doing things? You know, are you good for me when it comes to that? Can I trust you to get shit done for me if I needed you to, or just show up at the right time? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just stuff like that that I'm looking for. As far as like if the girl's a thoroughbred slut, you know, I look at them like they all hoes in the general sense. But as far as like if she's just this thought that's gonna cheat on me, I think things like that kind of show with time, and you can kind of just have the wisdom to discern what type of woman you dealing with. But nah, I never go in how many bodies you got. I mean, the bitch gonna lie anyway. I mean, what you asking her that for?
That's what I tell guys. I'm like, she ain't going. That's the funny part. Dudes don't understand. Like I've had women tell me they real body count, but that's because they know I don't give a shit. But if you give a shit, they gonna always lie. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna tell you the wrong number anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I had this girl, man. This girl, this was during COVID. This girl told me, and mind you, I'm like, what the COVID 20? So I'm like 19, 20 during COVID. And the girl tell me that she had 21 bodies, and she gonna tell me, I want you to be, no, I'm sorry, 22, and she want me to be the 23rd. She straight up said it just like that. And my first thought at the time was like I didn't know. I was like, damn, is she telling me the truth? Or is it really like, 43? You know what I'm saying? And she think that's a good number. So it's like, it really don't matter what they say, because they not gonna tell you no way. You just gotta, man, they all sluts. Just find your best slut. That's how I tell a dude that's worried about. Yeah.
So Last Jedi says, what type of girls do you find attractive? He said, what type of girls do you find are attracted to you the most? He said, black, white, etc., like that.
I like black women. That's my preference. I've had relations with all types of women, you know what I'm saying? But as far as like my preference, as far as if I thought about, really having a family or something with a girl, if I had to think about that, I would want it to be, for me personally, a black woman.
That's what's up. So somebody said, Joey says, he said, if he's trying to, he wants me to ask you, are you trying to only date one girl for marriage, or why is he wanting to date only one lady for what purpose? I don't know what he's saying.
Yeah, I think I get what he's saying. So Joey Alvarez, I'm dating one woman right now because I'm putting a lot of my time into my work and my business and this YouTube stuff that I'm doing, because I'm trying to really put all my effort here to get it to take off. I don't want to sacrifice time to some pussy. You know what I mean? Especially when I got one girl that's enough for me right now. Now that said, she knows this straight up, that I'm a polygynist. So when businesses and stuff like this is taking off, or I find myself wanting to get out here and add somebody else, then that's what I'll do. But I would call it a temporary thing. You know what I mean? Just right now.
Right. That's what's up.
And no, it ain't for no damn marriage. I'm not getting legally married. That's
he too young for all that. You too young for that. Fuck all that. Right now, it's like, you gotta wait till like 30 something at least. God damn, y'all be wanting motherfuckers to get married. So for both of y'all, what exactly makes a girl a slut? See, I say this. I don't see. My thing is this, right? I don't believe that there's different types of women. You understand? Meaning, I don't believe that there's girls over here who are sluts and then girls over here who don't be doing nothing. Now, you have extremes. Like, you might have a girl who's like religious and she ain't done shit because she's like super religious. Then you have like a super, super crazy promiscuous girl that just like does orgies every weekend. But in the middle, like in the middle, most girls are like, they're gonna be what they want to be based off the guy that they talking to. So like if they really feeling you, they gonna fuck you the first night. If they kind of feeling you, maybe they'll have sex with you at some time later. But you know what I'm saying? But what's your thoughts on that though?
In a general sense, I would say I agree with how you just put it. I think that, and this is what I tell guys, and this is why I like using the term slut, and on my channel I always call them thought pockets actually, but I call them thoughts, because it's like I'm trying to overcorrect the issue that our target audience has. You know what I'm saying? So I try to tell guys, it's like what you just said. To slut in like a beta male's mind, or how they think of it, they just think, oh, that means she gonna fuck everybody. You saying all girls is gonna cheat. It's not that. It's just, even if you take a girl that's a virgin and you went into her head, or you went to her through her phone search history of what she likes to look at in her free time, or the books that you think she reading that's about science, it's talking about it's talking about biology and the human body, but it ain't in the way that you think. You know what I mean? It's really getting into the nitty gritty details. All of them is thinking about freaky, nasty shit. All of them. They all thinking of it. They want to do it. They done did it even if it's on a small scale, like you said. Like, man, I done dealt with so many of these church religious girls, and they ready to do some freak shit, or they'd already done it, and they hiding it from people. That don't mean every girl's gonna cheat, but it's like what you just said. It's like they really gonna show it or not show it based off you as a man and how you carrying yourself, and if you know how to bring that out of her. So it's really gonna be women gonna be playing off of you. They gonna be kind of mirroring you.
Real talk. Shout out to Miles up in the building. What's going on, fam? So now AT says, did you have better success with women dating online or dating meeting women in person? So which one do you think is like the easiest, or I guess what you have more success in?
That's a tough. I mean, as far as what I would use, like if somebody told me get you a whole bunch of girls in the next week, and somebody tried to give me some they wanted me to do a competition or a challenge to fuck a whole bunch of new girls, I would definitely go to dating apps, because again, just with how I take my pictures, just how I look, and how girls always acted with how I look, I know I'm gonna have a lot of advantage. You know what I'm saying, on that side. But as far as like my experience with it personally, I don't have an issue when it comes to cold approaching or meeting new girls and things like this. It's not, for me, it's just not something that's difficult. I understand at the end of the day, it's a numbers game. My confidence don't get shot down if I get rejected. Like I told y'all, me and my cousin, we was out, I got 3 or 4 numbers. From those 4 numbers, there was a few girls that rejected me. You see what I'm saying? So, or it was 2. It was actually 2 girls that rejected me. So it's like, to me, it's like either one can work for me. If dating apps was non-existent today, I don't think I would struggle. I don't think I would struggle at all. It's hard to say which one's easier. What I would say for the typical guy, if you feel like looks ain't on your side, or you don't got professional photos, or whatever it is you think, for some of y'all, that's just your own mental state blocking you. But let's say it is true. Get good at approaching women in real life. You know what I'm saying? Go outside, man. Touch some grass. Stop living on the internet all day. For a lot of guys, I think that would be better. Right.
So Game like Will says, what's the best dating app today? Which dating apps you like to use?
Me and my boys in the Discord, we was just talking about this today. We was just talking about this. So everybody had a different opinion. For me, I like Hinge and I like Bumble. And the reason why I really prefer Hinge though, for one, for me, I guess it's just, to me, the girls on there always look the best. And it's gonna sound evil and manipulative, but I guess I'm Satan in human form. But as far as the type of girls on there, they all want relationships. So it's so easy to sell them a dream, and make them think that they're gonna get something that they not from you. So it'd be the easiest thing on there. And 2, you can categorize and look for the race of women that you want. You see what I'm saying? Whereas on Tinder, I ain't really too big on the snow bunnies these days. So it's like you go through so many white girls on there. Whereas on Hinge, like I can just set it to black women, or women that's mixed with black, or they got different things you can check and you can easily see them. So for me, that's what I would use. That's what I would use.
I like Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, and I would say OkCupid is like decent.
Is
You know what I'm
is
saying?
that in order? Like Tinder, Bumble, then
Yeah. So that's
okay.
Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, and then OkCupid. That's how
Why you prefer Tinder? I'm curious.
I feel like Tinder generally is. I think out of all the dating apps, it's the
Yeah,
easiest. It's the easiest to use and the easiest to get access to. So like, just like for like the swiping stuff, it's
yeah,
like Tinder. You could swipe on whoever and anybody could respond to anybody. On Bumble's changing a little bit, but before Bumble, only the women could respond to you until like if you got the match, so you got to wait for them to respond.
yeah.
Hinge is good. I think Hinge is good. The only thing with Hinge is it doesn't necessarily have the swipe thing, so you gotta, it's a little bit it's like an old school app where it's like old school dating
Yeah,
app actually contact motherfuckers. You know what I'm
I know
saying?
what you're saying. Yeah,
Okay, Cupid is like a mixture of all of them, but it's like I think that's the oldest one. So they trying to be like all the other new ones, but it's still like not as good as the new joints. But I think you know what I'm saying. So that's
yeah.
I'm in that order. You know what I mean?
Yeah, OK Cube is kind of like you got 2K and then you had NBA Live. It's like every time 2K go up, NBA Live try to catch up, and it's like, man, you 5 years behind. It's like that.
Yeah. So that's how I look at it. So let me see what other questions they got here. Says question for Lakari and YD are what are some truths to the black pill that you agree with and don't agree with? I don't agree with none of that shit, but what's your thoughts on that shit?
Hey, you funny. One, that's my dog right there. What up, JoJo? But man, there are some things that I agree with from the black pill. Like, they always talk about, just like generalizations of women, like women prefer taller men, right? So, I think in a general sense, I think it's clear the data shows, and without data, just looking at life, it shows that at least average height and above is going to do better than a guy that's 5'5", 5'6". You know what I mean? What I don't agree with from the black pill, especially like the depressing side of the black pill, is the guys that make everything sound like it was all predetermined from when you were born, and it's like there's nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean? And and they don't believe in having a crisp mouthpiece.
Right.
And
that's not I say this. The reason why I don't agree with it, because anytime when someone is very one-sided about something, I'm like, yo, there's not just one side of things. You see what I'm saying? Because like even for example, I talk about how I say I have a whole book called Looks Don't Matter, and when you buy that book, the first chapter I'm talking about how much looks do matter. You see what I'm saying? So like, so there's a balance. So I feel like a lot of times what happens is that when you're not balanced, you don't really talk about the actual entirety of everything. So then when you're not balanced, then it's kind of like you mess it up for other people who are very susceptible to just hearing what they hear. So they're like, oh man, so if I'm not 6 foot, I'm gonna never get no bitches. You feel what I'm saying? Right. And when you think that, you kind of
and that's a good point. Now that's a very, and I like that you said that. I probably have to get your book then, but that's a that to me that shows wisdom. Anybody that thinks the world is always just one side, or any topic is like that, I always know like, yeah, you ain't really out here living, or you ain't getting it like that. You know what I mean? Because it don't make sense. One thing that's true, for example, in the black pill is the stuff about women treat guys better that they find more attractive.
Right.
But notice how I just worded it compared to how black pill guy would. He would say, if you're a Chad or a Tyrone, women is just going to treat you better. If you're not, you're done for. Well, the truth is, within the general, objective attractiveness, there is still subjective attractiveness. So even though you're not a Chad or a Tyrone, that, there are girls that to them, you are a Chad or a Tyrone. You see what I'm saying? And that's where guys get it messed up. They're like, oh, I don't look like him, so I'm screwed. But it's like, no, there are girls out here that will look at you like him. Or you see what I'm saying? And that's what I try to tell guys. Like, sometimes you might just have to get your fair share of the type of girls that's into you. You know what I mean? And just still improve yourself, go after what you want. But I'm saying, for some guys, maybe they never get the type of girls you get or I get or whatever. But I hate hearing that. I hate hearing a grown man cry and this woe is me. I hate that shit. I can't stand that.
All right, we're gonna get a few more questions and we're gonna wrap this up in a little bit. So this says, What advice and tips would you give a virgin if he's trying to transition into becoming a guy smashing 50 to 100 females? What's your thoughts on that shit?
I would tell him to invest in AI, get him a good Android, get him some good Jergens lotion. Nah, I'm just fucking around. Nah. Man, that's a tough one because that's like
maybe when you impossible and shit. I don't even listen. If you're a virgin, you ain't fucking 50 to 100 females like that. You got to learn some things, bro.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. The way the human brain works, you know, the older you get, especially, you know, if you an older virgin, maybe I'm reading this question wrong. Hold on. Would you give a virgin? Okay, okay. It's just saying a virgin. I don't know why I saw 50. I keep thinking 50 years old. So I'm thinking like a 50-year-old virgin. Okay. Nah, I would tell this guy, the first thing I'm telling him is he needs to make sure that he's attractive and he feel good about himself, right? That's just like the first level of confidence. Making sure you improving yourselves in areas that make you feel good, but also that we know women find objectively attractive. You know what I mean? From how you carrying yourself, how you look, your money, your lifestyle, the clothes you wearing, things like this. That would be the first thing I would tell him to do that. Then after this, I'm going to tell this dude that he needs to put himself out there more, because if he's a struggling virgin, I mean, a lot of these dudes, they get rejected 2 or 3 times, and then they think they ugly as shit just because they get rejected a couple times. You know what I mean? So it's like they really need to go out here and put themselves out here more and understand that even for the best of us, or the most, good looking dude, it's a numbers game to some degree. Some women just ain't gonna like you. Some women, once you get on this side of things and the side that you on, we meet girls where we don't like, and we be like, I ain't dealing with that. You know what I mean? It's like that for everybody. A lot of them guys, they don't even understand that. So they would need to get out here and actually go talk to girls, actually go approach women, actually don't do it for 2 days, don't do it for 1 week, and then say, oh, it's not working. You really got to put your mind to this shit and say, okay, I'm about to change my situation. So that would be where I would start. And I ain't going to keep ranting on about the rest, because a virgin, he would have a lot of things to learn. But that's where I would start.
All right, let me get like 2 more questions and we can wrap this. So it says, what advice would you give to your 18-year-old self about the game and finding your purpose in life?
That's a good question. So I was 18 almost about 6 years ago. So what would I tell myself? Man, and honestly, I wouldn't tell myself nothing, because everything I went through got me to where I am today. I feel like I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So I think the main thing that I was doing at 18 that I think a lot of guys are not is just exploring life and trying things out. Now, that don't mean you be a dumbass and you go OD on some drugs because you're just trying it out. I ain't saying to do that, but I'm saying, put yourself out there, try different things, like to find your purpose in life. If you ain't found it and you 18, which is normal, that's normal. Well, that means you need to experience different stuff. Start going to different events with your friends. When they say, let's go do this, go find some classes and courses and things that you can put yourself in. You see what I'm saying? Do something different. Guys be doing the same thing, be like, man, I can't find my life purpose, And then as far as game goes, I think a lot of the game comes from experiences and knowing yourself. So the only reason you know what to say to girls is because you know what you want from this girl and how you want things to go. So that will come from you just the first step is, like Nike said, just do it. Just go and see. I wore this for a reason. I knew it was a smart move to wear this. Go out there and just start talking to women. Go out here and just actually live. Stop being afraid of everything. There's this this is the last thing I'm gonna say. There's this video on YouTube. It's about a guy that lived in a cave for so many years because he was scared of what the world was, and he had so many fears about failing and fears and stuff. And then once he finally stepped out of there, he realized that things was not as bad as he thought, and his life became better. A lot of guys, y'all just got to go out there and do different things, knowing that this sounds boring, but maybe I like it. I've never actually done it. Man, this girl right here, oh, I can't get her. Well, go up to her. Maybe you can. It's stuff like this.
Nah, that's real shit. And the last thing I want to ask you. So I saw, I think you wrote a post that something that happened where you had like a near-death experience or something. Did I see that right? Like,
yeah.
So, I mean, you don't have to talk about what happened specifically, but I saw you were saying like, yo, people got to just like really appreciate their life and all of that. So what was your thoughts on that? And like, what perspective did you get based on what you experienced.
Okay, got you. First, y'all see I'm crazy because he asked me about how I was basically dead, and I'm up here laughing. It's something wrong with me, man. It's something wrong with me in my head. But yeah. So what happened? I was with my cousin. Some things happened. Some things didn't go the right way. I'll probably make a whole video about it. But I ended up unconscious, unresponsive. They couldn't find my pulse, and I had no vitals. They called my mom. They told her this, and she lost her mind. She thought her son was dead, And my cousin and this white girl, she was a stranger to me. I still never seen her face to this day, but she saw me laid out, and she stood with me the whole night and did everything until the ambulance got there. To you know what I mean, and they got me back going. So I'm still here. But what I learned from that was, one, being dead don't feel like nothing. At least for me, I didn't see no pearly gates. I didn't see Tupac. I didn't see Biggie. I didn't see no grandma, nothing. It was just darkness. To me, I just woke up in the hospital and everybody telling me what happened to me. You know what I mean? So it kind of taught me not to fear death, but it also taught me that life is so valuable, because when you die, or at least in that moment being dead, it was like I had no perception of life. I had no thoughts. It was just darkness. It was just nothing. See what I'm saying? It was actually more extreme than being sleep, because at least when you sleep, you still dreaming and stuff. It was no experience. And that really taught me, like, man, I want to live. You know what I mean? And I don't want to do things to myself that can shorten my life if I have a say in it, because anything can happen to you. But as far as the things I can control, from my diet, from how I eat, just making sure I'm staying healthy with staying in the gym, making sure I'm around people that's positive, making sure I'm being positive to people, because I just thought about, just conversations I had with some people right before that happened. And I'm like, man, I'm happy I'm still here to keep it pushing, because it just sucks to know that I'll be gone, but that's the last memory of me that they would have had, with some negative shit. You see what I'm saying? So it's stuff like this that really fueled me to just be like, nah, man, I'm just gonna try to be good vibes, positive. I might even give up ruining girls' lives. You know what I'm saying? I might even let that go, because it's just like, damn, I don't want to do that to people.
You're gonna start telling them the truth and shit. You're gonna be like, listen, I'm gonna stop lying to your punk ass. I'm gonna just That's crazy. But listen, man, I'm glad that everything turned out cool, that you still here, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? And definitely, I appreciate you coming through, and I like what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. And guys, if you want to hit up Young and Disciplined, this is the Instagram right here. And also April is putting the link to Young and Disciplined's YouTube channel in the chat. So make sure y'all subscribe to him. Any last words you want to say before we up out of here?
Yeah. Everybody gonna be, like I said, a little shocked if you go watch my channel and you see how I talk in the video. But at the end of the day, I want everybody to stay, all my guys, especially the young guys that's watching me. My motto is young and disciplined, not young and distracted. The Y and D, the D in there, it don't stand for distracted. So even though, guys on my page, they call me Mr. No Ass Left Behind, and I say every strategy to get the ass and all of this stuff. Some of these things, guys, it's up to you to make these choices on how you move with the information. And what I think is the best way to live your life is really for yourself, and also just being positive all the way around, even with the women you deal with. Like, sometimes I look at the content I make and I say, man, guys is gonna misunderstand this and kind of have a disdain or something towards women. But even the way I deal with my women, I'm not mean to girls. I talk a lot of shit on this camera, but I just want guys to really be positive, stay on your grind, stay on your shit, keep trying to do better every single day. And, don't take life for granted, man. It's not all about chasing ass. I use that as a way to kind of reel guys in, but in my videos, I try to drop gems to get them to see it's not all about that. You know what I mean?
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. But man, we appreciate you coming through. You feel me? Yes, sir.
I appreciate you for having me on, man.
And everybody, we appreciate y'all tuning in, man. And we are gonna holler at y'all later. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. We are going.